All right, everyone, 6 p.m., April 15th, 2025, City of Pasadena, Texas. Council meeting is called to order. Dr. Jan Wheeler will help us with the invocation. Council member, I think it's going to be Guerrero. If you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, I really would appreciate it. If everyone would please stand. Doctor, you're up.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We thank you for the city of Pasadena, for its people, and for the many blessings that you've poured out on this city. We ask you for your guidance and wisdom as the council gathers to make decisions that affect the lives of so many. Help us to listen with open minds and to lead with humble hearts. Grant each leader discernment, clarity, and compassion. May every discussion be filled with respect and every decision be rooted in justice, fairness, and a sincere desire to serve. Bless those who work tirelessly to make Pasadena a better place, our first responders, city workers, teachers, nonprofit agencies, and volunteers. Protect them and strengthen them in their efforts. May unity and peace reign in our city, and may this council be a reflection of integrity and service. Help us to honor you, Lord, in all that we do with great joy and hope. In your holy name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Doctor.
Please join us in the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Guerrero.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A lot of bright faces. Thank you once again for joining us. Want to highlight a couple of things. Want to highlight the Chamber's candidate luncheon. I don't believe Christina's here, but want to highlight all the efforts that went behind that. I heard it was a great turnout, great presentation. Thank you to all who participated. Also want to highlight next Tuesday, early voting starts, April 22nd through the 29th. So please make plans to vote accordingly. Wanted some community updates. Officer Martin in community engagement just came back from FMLA. He had a beautiful baby boy, so shout out to him. I also want to highlight our secretary, council secretary, Nora Ortiz. Her birthday was yesterday. I want to highlight this young lady's commitment to our city of 20 years of service. Also want to take the time to wish a belated birthday to Councilmember Dolan Dow. His birthday was on Friday. It was great celebrating with you. Happy 50th birthday. You don't look a day over 20.
Thank you. Ms. Van Hout.
Shred Day is Saturday, April 26th from 9 to 12:30 at the water billing office on Southmore. You can bring up to 4 boxes or bags in your trunk. Paper only, no other recycling, and it's free. The election is in 2.5 weeks. This includes the city, Pasadena ISD, and San Jacinto trustees. The Chamber of Commerce is an excellent source of information about the candidates. They recorded the mayoral forum and an event that had 1 minute per person for all candidates. They have a voter's guide, but I recommend skip the voter's guide. On the website at the top, click advocacy, meet the candidates, and then scroll all the way down to where it's just a list of candidate names. Click on a name and you will get the entire 10 to 12 question questionnaire. Team Up to Cleanup does minor home repairs and outside cleanup in October. This is for seniors, disabled, veterans, and low income. The applications are available now. They're on the city webpage. Under departments, click on Community Relations, then Neighborhood Network, then Team Up to Cleanup. If you know someone who needs something, please let them know about this. And we also need volunteers because the more workers who are signed up ahead of time, the more projects they can set up to handle. Air Alliance has had air monitors in Pasadena neighborhoods for over a year. They will be discussing the results at the main library on Tuesday, April 22nd at 6:30. And also on Tuesday, the 22nd, the plaza in front of the police department will have a ribbon cutting at 10 a.m.
Thank you. Mr. Estrada.
Thank you, Mayor. In the spirit of recognizing and thanking the chamber, certainly want to thank Christina Womack and Aaron and Christian for their work and their partnership in helping do community outreach to the city and the business members. And with that, I pass. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Dow.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. Please don't forget to get out and vote. April 22nd. Thank you.
Mr. Barr.
Good to see everybody here. I know there's been some concern about the feeder on from Red Bluff all the way down to Fairmont. The construction that was happening out there then came to a stop. Just to let you know, I've been in contact with Harris County Precinct 2. They've been in contact with TxDOT. That's been somewhat resolved, and the plan is that the workers should be getting back out there sometime this week, and so construction should resume soon, and maybe we can get that project done. With that, I'll pass.
Thank you, Ms. Shanebine.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see a packed house tonight. A couple of familiar faces. Former Councilman Phil Caton and Bruce Lehman, welcome. Good to see y'all here tonight. And all of the other candidates that are here tonight as well. We have quite a few in the audience. I want to take a moment and recognize the chamber and say thank you to Christina Womack and your team for a very successful advocacy presentation with the candidates. It's been greatly appreciated, and I know our community and business community appreciates that as well. I also want to say a special recognition that the chamber recognized as well during the luncheon for the nonprofit of the year with Project Joy and Hope. It's a fantastic organization. It's led by Dr. Jan Wheeler, and her staff was Shelley Fuller. Thank you for an amazing group here in Pasadena that services many, many needing families. And Dr. Wheeler, I appreciate your prayer as we go into Easter weekend. You mentioned unity and peace, and I wish that upon all of our citizens here in Pasadena, is that we have a very unified weekend and a peaceful weekend as we celebrate Jesus Christ. With that, I pass.
Thank you, sir. All right, citizens wishing to speak. Robert Jeter, you're first.
Good evening, Council. Councilman Ibarra, welcome back to Pasadena. I hope Pearland has been treating you well. I trust that you're not also taking ill-gotten gains from that city. I stand here tonight at a podium that cost the city $47,550.80. I obtained this information because, contrary to statements allegedly made by the Community Relations Director, the AG's office does take Robert Jeter's records request seriously, despite his high school buddy's best attempt to stall and delay. History lesson time. Tuesday, July 19th, 2016, Councilman Wagner sent 2 thugs to draw guns on me and run me off from a peaceful and lawful protest of his boss at the time. That evening, I attended my first ever Pasadena City Council meeting. In the months that followed, I exposed Councilman Wagner for tampering with yard signs, a story that made national news. In the 5 years that followed, I ferociously held Mayor Wagner accountable meeting after meeting twice a month. In February 2021, seeing that people across the nation were rioting and burning down cities, I approached Mayor Wagner at an event in front of multiple witnesses and offered to set aside our differences and bury the hatchet to work together for the good of the citizens of Pasadena. Wagner took my hand and shook it in acceptance of a truce. In May of 23, that truce was broken when Wagner and a candidate he recruited for council conspired to fabricate a criminal case against me 2 days after the election in retaliation for me declining to support and work for his chosen candidate. Webster defines terrorism as the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, in the pursuit of political aims. Mayor, by definition, you turn the former head of Pasadena Counterterrorism Office into something that matches the definition of terrorism because I wouldn't do your bidding. As if that wasn't in poor judgment enough, you and the creature you bed down with spread enough rumors about me that 2 members of council regurgitated them and continued to engage in ongoing sustained harassment and defamation based entirely on your crime family's deluded fabrications. You really should do a better job at protecting the city by hiring a competent city attorney to call for an executive session to address the behavior on council. As you have not, nor have you apologized for any grievance against me, nor have you had the decency to pick up the phone and call me to follow up on a single issue in the last 8 years, I draw the city's attention to PIU 25-003. You are under criminal investigation for abuse of official capacity. Ready to apologize yet and remove Ibarra and Guerrero from council? Good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for the comments. Next up is Mr. Stephen Alvarez.
We're the employers of all these public servants here, and we pray and hope that they do the job that they're signed up to do. We ask them to protect our tax dollars, to make sure that we're able to go home and feed our families, as well as pay for all the salaries that are here in this room. Wagner took it upon himself to force down and raise our tax dollars. This was just last year. I mean, the dude doesn't care. He gets $150,000, so raising our taxes doesn't mean anything to him. Now he's went ahead and forced through a convention center deal where it's $50 million for the project. It's $46 million in interest. Now, if you don't think that's really a low IQ deal, then I can't help you. But what do we call it now, Wagner? What do we call it? We call it the Little Jeffrey Money Pit? Is that what we call the convention center now? Because it's $50 million. We're already over budget. Is that correct? Can you tell the public it's correct? We're already over budget. Is that correct? He ain't gonna tell y'all. He's a liar. He's not transparent. He won't tell y'all the truth. And there's been several times I've been coming up here, and I've been speaking, and they violate my civil rights, my freedom of speech. Now they raised their hand and swore an oath to the Constitution of freedom of speech, yet they weaponize our police officers. Like this guy, he's brainwashed right here, and they come and arrest me. For freedom of speech, do you know how many men and women in this country put their lives on the line so we can speak freely, so we can address our community with freedom of speech? Yet we got a communist like little Jeffrey up there who thinks his crap doesn't stink, and that's what's wrong with that punk right there. And I tell you, if he had an issue with me, he doesn't have the guts to do it. We all know that him, J. Dale, and Rex are all wearing the same matching G-string. I'm sick of coming up here and my employees are out of control. Just sick of it. I can't stand that dude, and he knows he's abusing his power. That's the only time he feels like he's got a backbone is when he's up here and he's around our officers. Other than that, that dude's pure sissy. That's what he is. And I look at you right now and I tell you the things you're doing with our tax dollars is uncalled for, man. Wasting our money over there is very uncalled for. And then you got Bianca backing you up. How do you train her? With Scooby crack? Is that what you're doing? Do you have her like doing rollovers and backflips? And do you teach? Can you have Rex do the same thing? Is Rex doing the same thing? Is that what you got him on? See, and this is what I'm talking about right here. He's not going to respond. He's not going to be transparent. He's going to lie to you all in your face like he's done before, time and time again.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your 3 minutes. Next up is Eric Sanchez. Eric Sanchez.
All right, so someone else wanted to speak to me, speak before me, but they'll get to it after me. So this is concerning my records requests, and one of them is my friend over here. He's in the audience. He's going to request records of this man's passing in the Pasadena City Jail. I didn't write anything. I don't really have anything written down. I just have some notes, but he'll tell you his story, and this is concerning as well because I have been making many requests, very formal, professional requests that have been obfuscated by Lewis and Briss boys, so however you could pronounce their name. And recently, now all of a sudden, because I also CC the state representatives, now they want to give me some more documents, but they're not giving me everything. they're giving me just enough where they think it's okay, and it's not, because I have some serious concerns about how your undercover officers are just out of control, and they have these protections by the state of Texas where they're protected indefinitely, basically. You can never, how can you press charges on an officer when you can't even get his name? And that's just ridiculous. And that's all, but obviously that's a point, that's a point of error with the state of Texas. But more to the point right here is that I'm raised, you guys have that complaint filed by one of your officers, and you have your Lewis and Brice boys telling me that that case number doesn't exist. With this registered pedophile is registered because of that, and he's gonna get free in like 2 more months, I believe, because he got 6 years of further adjudication when he repeatedly assaulted a 15-year-old girl and also tried to penetrate her at least one time. And that guy was a key witness in McNabb, Texas, and that's somehow not suspicious. And I have not found any actual evidence of McNabb's guilt other than some circumstantial comments, maybe. And that's about it. And you guys still won't give me the whole file. You won't give anything that's actually exculpatory, which is illegal under Brady v. Maryland and Article 3914 of the Michael Morton Act. So I'm hoping to make you aware, I made you all aware that you guys should fulfill my records request and get me those records and find these officers guilty of what they've done, and they should be convicted and gone to prison, because what they did is a criminal act. It's conspiracy to falsely convict and entrap a man. It's just that simple. It's really not complicated. And this is not just you. Even Kim Ogg, I've seen her dirty work that she did. And everyone wants to just keep tight-lipped about it. And it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Next up is Richard Collins.
Good evening, council members. My name is Richard Collins. I'm here tonight to speak about a death that's haunted me for nearly 50 years, the death of Danny Lynn Stevens, who died in the custody of the Pasadena police on May 2nd, 1976. I knew Danny. We were both young, from the same neighborhood. A few weeks before his death, Danny and I had an altercation over money that I felt he owed me. During that argument, he hit me with a Zippo lighter that he had in his hand, and it cut my nose. I was angry, and I held a grudge. Then, not long after that, I was about 17 years old. I got picked up by the police in Pasadena because a car had been stolen and crashed. I was on foot in the area, and they suspected I was involved. They questioned me and asked who had been driving. I was still upset with Danny, so I gave him his name. The truth is, it wasn't Danny. It was another boy I knew, and he's never been caught or anything. But I've had to live with that mistake ever since. A couple of months later, I was in court, sitting there on another case, when a detective came to talk to me a Pasadena detective came to talk to me in the holdover. He showed me a picture of Danny Stevens. He says, "Is this the man you talked about?" I told him, "No, that's not him." He said, "Man, you ain't got to worry. He's dead." And I was stunned. I was a kid. I panicked. And at that moment, I said, "Yeah, that's him." They said, "Okay," and walked off. That was the last I ever heard of it. But I never forgot it, and I never forgot the timing, the way things unfolded, how shortly after I gave Danny's name, he ended up dead in a jail cell. They say he hanged himself with a straitjacket strap, but I've always believed that Danny Stevens was killed by Pasadena police in retaliation, not for something he did, but for something he was only suspected of doing. Today, I'm publicly stating that I will be filing a Texas Public Information Act request to obtain all records related to Danny Stevens' death, because to this day, there's no newspaper article describing exactly what happened. There's no accountability, no public record explaining what really happened. This isn't about blame. This is about truth, about finally getting answers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Diamond Pham.
Hello, everybody. My name is Diamond, and I work with Airlines Houston. It's our 1 year in Pasadena with our air monitors. We have some hosts in Pasadena who have air monitors for free, and now it's been a year, so we're going to be sharing the data that the monitors have read. So if you're interested in the air quality, please come to the meeting. It's next week, next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. We will be providing food and drinks, and I'll leave some flyers in the back if anyone's interested. You can pick it up on your way out. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up is Ralph Morrissey.
The city of Pasadena has, excuse me, building codes requiring permits and inspections to verify the construction safety. Deed restrictions are legal instruments designed to help maintain the integrity of the subdivision. Since property taxes are based upon assessed values, it is to the city's benefit to make sure that both building codes and deed restrictions are enforced. To be clear, building permits only address building codes. Since deed restrictions represent legally binding commitments between affected homeowners, permit department employees are not authorized to interpret them. Instead, a truthful application is the only thing on which they can rely when issuing permits. If a homeowner sees a violation, a complaint can be filed with the city asking for enforcement. Such was the case with Mr. Steven Alvarez. He knew from the beginning that constructing a two-story apartment building on the same lot with his single-family residence was a deed restriction violation. Yet he foolishly declared that since he had permits and past inspections, he could ignore deed restrictions. The courts disagreed, issuing a court order to correct the violation or face contempt of court charges and possible jail time. Unfortunately, two city councilmen, Manny Guerrero and Orlando Ibarra, neither of whom represent our subdivision, chose to complicate matters by submitting declarations with irrelevant statements to the court. This gives Mr. Alvarez false hope, adds time and expenses to the city's battle, and continues to stress the widowed senior citizen sharing Alvarez's backyard fence. Ever since she was the first of four to file a complaint, Alvarez has spread lies and publicly bullied her. This was especially rough on her while caring for her Alzheimer's-stricken mother. May she rest in peace. Why would these two council members continue to encourage Alvarez's bi-weekly outlandish behavior? What do they get in return? To you gentlemen, I say, shame on you. Please stop it and withdraw your ridiculous affidavits. They serve no one.
Thank you, sir. Next up is Eddie Barr.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Council members, thank you for this time. I'm going to have to go by my notes because I may take too much time, so I'm going to read it off the notes and make sure I get this done. And I'd really appreciate if you listen to me on what I have to say. My name is Ed Ybarra. I lived in Pasadena in 1969 to 1993. I then moved to San Antonio for a job and raised my family there. I had to return back to Pasadena in 2019 because my mother was ill. I'm here today to honor my father, Roy Ybarra, who was much more than just a Pasadena councilman in the 70s. He adopted, this is going to get really choked up because he's gone. He adopted and lovingly raised 4 boys as his own. And I'm sure he's got extra jewels in heaven for that, for putting it with 4 boys, by the way. My dad was deeply involved in our community. He coached our youth baseball and football team, served on Little League boards, and generously supported other Little League and youth organizations in Pasadena. Not many of you will remember Ricardo's Mexican Food Restaurant here in Pasadena. It was near Southmore and Shaver. My father owned that business. His success and his community involvement led to his decision to run for city council. It's important to remember that in 1970s, Pasadena was a different place. At Red Bluff and Thomas, there stood a bookstore for the Ku Klux Klan. A stark reminder of the prejudice that existed back then in the 70s. It was a little bit rough town. As a child, I was afraid, but my father was never deterred. He ended up winning a seat on city council and served for 8 impactful years. He was the first Hispanic council member at that time. Beyond his restaurant business, he built a thriving business that included a flower shop, funeral home, catering service, event centers, and concession contracts. I'm not really fond of that because I had to bust my tail end to work with him at that point. I'm incredibly proud of the recognition my father received, including the 1974 Five Outstanding Young Men of Texas Award and the 1985 Texas Political Pioneer Award presented by Vice President George H.W. Bush. I could share many more accomplishments, but I need to address another matter that deeply concerns me. I'm greatly offended by the current memorial candidate who attempts to capitalize on my father's name and his legacy. Councilman Barr, I respectfully request that you stop associating yourself with my father's name. Am I clear about that, sir? Thank you. I will accept your silence as a yes. Your affiliation with the Democratic Party makes this particularly troubling. My dad was a Democratic candidate back in the day in the 70s. My father would be disgusted and ashamed to link with today's Democrats. Those policies have become divisive and detrimental to the progress we've made. Yes, sir. Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you for respecting the time. Thank you, sir. Rudy Cisneros. Ruby? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
My apologies.
Hi, good afternoon, City Council. I said thank you very much for allowing us to come here.
Good afternoon.
My name is Margarita Villafranca.
My name is Ruby Cisneros.
So she is actually a citizen of Pasadena. So what we're coming here, we're coming representing New York Life to maybe get another time to discuss employee whole life benefits for the employees. With New York Life, it's new. Well, the company's 180 years old, but we're new into the municipal pay deduction for the employees. So what we have it's totally different. It's a standalone. It's not like, we're not brokers, we're agents. So the employee whole life is a guarantee issue for all of the employees, guarantee issue. It's portable. They can insure their spouse, children, and grandchildren. It builds cash value, and then when they leave and retire, they take it. So it's payroll deducted, and it's very simple. It's not complicated, and we bring a team of people to help us with that. We have 30 days enrollment. But the benefits of this too is the cash value growth, but it also has a rider on this whole life policy that if, like the police officer, firemen, and these are first responders, but it could happen to anybody. Any of the workers that you have, they have a rider on there that if they get hurt, they can get money from that policy. Might not be very big because the maximum for the employees is $100,000, but it still is $2,000 a month is a lot of money when you don't have something coming in. But they're small things, and the thing is that it does not cost the city anything because it's payroll deducted. It's just the time that is spent by the HR. So we actually have some packets to let y'all have, and we don't know the protocol on how to address y'all other than these 2 minutes that we have right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Ms. Womack, you're up.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. You've heard lots about our advocacy efforts already, and so I will share. We do have some copies of the voter's guide, but I concur with Councilwoman Van Hout. The online edition is much better and has more information. And want to extend our sincere appreciation to all of the candidates that participated in both the voter guide and in our events. We have seen record-breaking numbers and statistics of engagement, and that is our way to serve the community. And so we want that resource to be known. But a new quarter brings new events and new opportunities. So tonight I'm here to make you aware of a few other ways that you can connect with your constituents. Next Wednesday on April 23rd is our annual job fair. We have more than 100 employers that will be hiring for all different types of positions, students to professionals in all different industries, from retail to industrial, that'll be hiring on the spot. There's also interview preparation and resume preparation workshops available. So this event is open and free to the public. Last year we had nearly 900 people walk through the doors looking to go to work in Pasadena and in this region area of businesses. And so we want you to share this information with folks who are looking. We surveyed our members earlier this year, and the #1 challenge facing businesses right now is access to talent and workforce. So the job fair helps us meet those needs of the businesses so that they can be successful and to have the talent that we need. The other thing that we are doing to help address the workforce challenges is our May membership luncheon is going to be held on Thursday, May 29th. And we're going to have Steve Corey, who is the principal of people performance at Pinnacle, a local business in Pasadena that has invested in our community, stayed in our community, and grown to upwards of nearly 1,000 employees. And so they are going to be doing a presentation on how to retain and create a positive workforce culture. So for any company that is looking to learn how to recruit and retain employees, we invite you to come to that. That's where we will also honor our 2025 Industry of the Year, PSC Group, another local Pasadena business that has invested and reinvested with new property in our community. And then we'll round out this summer with our annual State of the Precinct address, hearing from Commissioner Adrian Garcia of Precinct 2. This is a joint event across 6 different chambers in our region where we're able to come together, network, and connect to hear about all of the progress and the work going on in Precinct 2. And so the Pasadena Chamber is here. You guys know we're here to connect, advocate, serve, and educate. And so we appreciate the city's partnership. We also want to acknowledge and recognize again Project Joy and Hope as our nonprofit of the year, and thank the mayor and the city for recognizing their work that they do right here in our backyard. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Christina. Michael Courtney.
How you doing, Mayor and Council? Respect me wearing my cap. It's about a bad hair day. Anyways, I used to come here all the time. In the last 6, 8 months, I haven't come. My mother passed away. I've had some illnesses, was involved in a bad car wreck. I've said this before. I think this administration has done a few good things for this city, but I am a little amazed by the tax increase for whatever reason. I was one of the first babies born here in Bayshore Hospital in 1963. My doctor, Dr. Rufus Davis, was one of the founding members of Bayshore. And Pasadena, from the time that I was a little kid till today, and I'm almost 62 years old, has always operated on a small town mentality from the day I was born till today. I hear a lot of accusations thrown around here, and if accusations turn out to be true, that's fine. But I'm also to the effect that you're innocent till proven guilty. I want to commend Mr. Schonbein. I saw him numerous times before he ran for mayor down at the animal control down there. You're an animal lover. That speaks volumes to me. I want to, Mr. Yubera, you're one of the only candidates, or the only candidate, didn't vote for a tax increase. I was told we have $110 million, give or take, in the city coffers. I understand, just like our water bill here, we're on an index. Whether we need a water bill increase, it gets increased because we're on this index. And I came down here for 2 years pleading with you, Mr. Wagner, to try to get you, and you're the only one to put it on the agenda, to get a tax break for the disabled people in this city. And you have failed for the 2 administrations you've been here, and the only person that ever tried to tell me or help me was Don Harrison. And I came down here on deaf ears, and you did nothing about it to help the citizens here. Nothing. And when somebody leaves a bad comment here, what y'all do, y'all get with the Access TV that puts this on the internet, and y'all shut the comments off because y'all don't want people to look and see what's really going on down in this city. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. Last week, and I'm retired. I draw my disability, and I'm retired. So that affects me, too. But as I'm driving down this city, your own assistant on city time, Rex Lindbergh's out fixing his signs on city time. I'm sure that you don't approve of that. I saw him with my own eyes, fixing on city time at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, fixing a sign. That's not his job. He's on city time. Now, if he wants to do that on his own time, that's fine, but I saw that with my own eyes, and one thing I don't do, I don't lie, Mr. Wagner. Last but not least, 8 months ago, I filled out an application called a colony manager here in the city of Pasadena. Last year alone, I spent $8,000 of my money helping these homeless animals, and 8 months later, nobody has done anything about my
Thank you, sir.
application.
Appreciate your 3 minutes.
Period.
Next, Julius Sampson.
Well, thank you for giving me a chance to talk. I'm here to do a verbal complaint about what's going on in my backyard on 1708 Thelma Lane. I got a lot of, it looked like a rat's den in the jungle back there with all them trees in. I got just like this right here. This part right here belongs to the neighbors. Their fence is all messed up. You can just step over it. This here on 1710 Thelma Lane. Been asked by a landlord of this place, get their fence, that old rotten chain link fence down. They put a brand new one up there beside it, and left the old one up. And on this side, same way. The man used to be a cartoon artist one time. His tree down there fell over on his side there, tore down the fence. He went and replaced it, but he died. People took over his house, built an old wooden fence up there. Most shabby, disgusting way they put a fence up. They had two big trees like this. They just nailed the boards up there. That's unnecessary for that. I've asked and wanted to get that, my backyard looking good. Sure, I got an old shed back there sooner or later. I'm gonna tear it down and get rid of all that. But in the meantime, I like to be able to drive up my driveway like that. Look down the side there, don't look like you're living in a jungle, especially in a residence like I live in. It's uncalled for. And I've asked to find ways, I've asked the neighbors, they won't do nothing. Like this, he got a driveway and a carport back there in between the red bricks is all piled up there, and there's a hole in the bottom of it. It's nothing but a rat den and a possum den. And they come out there in the backyard. And I want to be reasonable and respectable to my neighbors. I want to live in that neighborhood, but time and time again, they keep on ignoring the fact that's their problem, to get them fences tore down, so we all can live a good thing and be able to be prideful in the neighborhood, have a clean backyard. Or if I want to bring family over, we have a little time and get it sit there. You don't have to be looking at that old jungle over there. It's pretty good, especially in the city, in the neighborhood I live in. And I've been trying to be reasonable and peaceful about it, but it don't look like them people don't care about their own neighborhoods. And I do. I'm a prideful person that takes pride in my home, and then just like my home right now, it needs some major repairs done on it. And I've tried to find a solution to get it repaired, because I can't afford it. That house got messed up in 2017 on Hurricane Harbor, and it's still yet, Mayor. I'm still digging out of it, the problem, trying to get that house completely fixed on the inside.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mary, you're up next, ma'am. Mary Sampson.
Already went up. Oh, you're talking to that person.
Mary Sampson, and been living here in Pasadena all my life, raising my kids. My first husband passed away. He worked with the city of Pasadena. But I'm here, well, my husband had his issues, but I'm here to find out how I can go about sending somebody, because the water department doesn't want to send somebody to check my meter. And it's just me and my husband. And I get a bill the last 3 months for $150 of water. We don't spend that much water because I don't even have a washing machine. It broke down on me. So the lady there, she refuses for the last 3 months, and I pay my taxes, me and my husband. So I think that we need to be heard. And so I'm not asking too much, a senior citizen, but to somebody from the water to go and send somebody to check my meter. They said, well, we do electronically. But sometimes electronic messes up too. I mean, I have a daughter that works with all this stuff. And so that's all I'm asking for. Maybe y'all can help me, but they need 1708 Thelma. They need to send somebody over there to my house to check the water because that's too much.
Somebody will call you tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Jose Rosales. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, Paola, did you sign this right here? Or did you want to talk?
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council. This may be the biggest election in the history of Pasadena, and we all know elections have consequences. I want to encourage everyone to get out and vote early if at all possible. Per harrisvotes.com, only 2 polling locations in the whole city of Pasadena will be open for early voting. Those locations are John Phelps on 225 in Ritchie, Kyle Chapman on Spencer, and 1 location in the city of South Houston. In the last local election 2 years ago, which was not a mayoral election, 13% of the votes were made at John Phelps, and 28% were made at Baker Ripley. That's more than double. This should concern the citizens of Pasadena, especially those closest to Baker Ripley, many of which are elderly. They will now need to drive 15 to 20 minutes longer to the nearest location to cast their vote early. I've reached out to Harris County via multiple emails and phone calls. The county clerk called me herself on Friday afternoon and stated they will not be opening Baker Ripley. I've spoken to my councilman and many of the other mayoral candidates about this, but asked that you will contact Harris County about requesting Baker Ripley open. Voters in District G, F, E, and some from H, I think I've seen you there, Mayor, choose to vote there. I've also spoken to Ms. Lerma, who is the logistics person at Baker Ripley, and they are willing to accommodate. I hope that Harris County does the right thing for us in this election. If Harris County still chooses not to open, I ask that in the future, the city do their own study of what locations receive the greatest amount of votes, and they ask Harris County for those locations to be open to serve the majority of Pasadena citizens. If anyone still needs information on where to vote early or where to vote on election day, they can get that at harrisvotes.com. Thank you all for your time, and God bless.
Thank you. Okay, council presentation of minutes, April 1st, 2025, 10 a.m. Motion Guerrero, second by Estrada. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, progress payments. Motion Shanebine. Second by Guerrero. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Brings us down to finance resolutions. Motion Estrada, second by Guerrero. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Brings us down to personnel changes A and C. Motion Guerrero, second by Guerrero. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Ibarra made the motion, Guerrero seconded. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. That brings us down, see, we did personnel changes A and C. Okay, appointment of Lester G. Rourke to the Civil Service Commission. Motion Estrada, second by Dow. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary, if I'm not mistaken, you're up.
Ordinance 2025-83, 2025-84, 2025-85, 2025-86, 2025-87, 2025-88, 2025-89, 2025-90, 2025-91, 2025-92, 2025-93, 2025-94, 2025-96, 2025-95, 2025-96, 2025-98, 2025-99, 2025-100, 2025-101, 2025-102,
We're going to read it by itself.
2025-103, 2025-104, 2025-105, 2025-106, 2025-107, 2025-108, 2025-109, 2025-110, 2025-111, 2025-112, 2025-113, 2025-114.
Motion.
Motion, who's that?
Dow.
Dow, second by Shanebine. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, Madam Secretary.
Ordinance 2025-97.
Motion Guerrero. Second by Shanebine. Any questions?
Motion to amend.
Go ahead, sir.
Motion to amend ordinance 97 on final reading by correcting the dollar amount certification of funds and substituting the ordinance attached Exhibit A and Exhibit 1.
We have a second by Van Hout. Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion approved. All right, Madam Secretary.
Ordinance 2025-115, an ordinance approving a variance to the City of Pasadena Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9, Buildings and General Building Regulations, Section 9-7A, minimum standards for off-street parking for the proposed office expansion within an existing building located at 310 Beltway Green Boulevard. Ordinance 2025-116, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pasadena, Texas at Chapter 31, Standard Sign Code, Section 31-11, Sign Maintenance and Removal, by revising Section F1 under Replacement or Repair of Sign, providing a repealing clause, providing a savings clause, for severability. Did I say providing a penalty clause as well? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to read that last part because it's important. Providing a repealing clause, providing a savings clause, providing a penalty clause, and providing for severability.
There you go.
Ordinance 2025-117, authorizing approving agreement by and between Harris County, Texas, and the City of Pasadena, Texas, whereby the City of Pasadena will join the May 3rd, 2025 joint elections being conducted by Harris County.
We have a motion Guerrero, second by Shanebine. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Madam Secretary, resolutions?
Resolution 2025-81, approving the quarterly compiled financial statements of the City of Pasadena, Texas for the 9 months ended June 30th, 2024, as submitted by Crowe LLP Certified Public Accountants. Resolution 2025-82, a resolution approving the revised Housing Administrative Plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Program, updates in accordance with HUD 24 CFR 982.503 and PIH Notice 2012-29.
Motion Guerrero, second by Estrada. Any questions? All in favor? Any opposed? Want to thank everybody for coming out. God bless. Meeting is adjourned.